How's it going, you guys? So today in this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can minimize your body's inflammation down to the most minimal amounts. How you can bulletproof your body to inflammation. So, first of all, I want to make it abundantly clear that inflammation, more specifically oxidative stress, which is basically just metabolic damage. It's essentially stress in all forms. Stress is physical, stress is also mental. But all stress does the same thing. It tears your body down, okay? It'll tear down your energy, it'll tear down your body. Stress causes metabolic damage, okay? And this calls for inflammation. This triggers inflammation. Inflammation is actually the process of the body promoting heat and blood circulation and nutrients to whatever area is damaged so it can heal itself. For example, if I cut my damn arm like a damn emo, right? You know that wound is going to swell up. It's going to get red. It will get inflamed. And that inflammation, that redness, that heat, when you touch it, it hurts. That is a repair mechanism. Okay? You know that if you touch it, it's gonna make it hurt, right? Well, the more you touch it, the more bacteria is probably going to get built up in there, and it's likely to get infected. So this is a repair mechanism. It gets all hot, it gets all red. That's blood flow circulating to that area to heal it. And then it hurts. You don't want to touch it, because if you do, you increase your risk of infection. You cause bacteria to get built up in there. So your body doesn't want you to touch it. Your body wants to heal and repair that as quickly as possible without any infections, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that's the greatest example of inflammation and healing. And that inflammation actually happens within our body, in all organs and all cells of the body every single day. And there's other types of inflammation, you know, swelling. Your body retains water, it swells up, they call that inflammation. But I'm talking about redness and swelling, inflammatory process, which is used to heal up the damage and the infections, etc. Anyway, okay, inflammation is, well, more specifically, oxidative damage is the root cause of most diseases, okay? You have diseases of damage, and then you have diseases of deficiency. And usually deficiencies can prevent your body from repairing damage, such as if you have elevated homocysteine levels. Your body needs choline, your body needs vitamin B12 and other vitamins to convert homocysteine into glutathione, which is your body's master hormone, which actually heals inflammation or heals oxidative stress. Okay, that's a deficiency that can actually hinder your body from repairing oxidative stress and inflammation, clearing up inflammation. So then, of course, you can eat things like processed sugar, hydrogenated oils, too much omega-6, and that can actually increase the stress on your body, oxidative damage, metabolic damage, and that can increase your inflammation that does not clear up, or your oxidative stress that does not get healed. So, how can we bulletproof our body against oxidative stress, metabolic damage, and inflammation? And by the way, this is all off the top of my head, okay? I'm not reading a script. I'm actually looking at myself in the little webcam window. So I prefer to look at myself. I could look at the webcam the whole time. So anyway, yeah, there's no script. So, there are many things that we can do to prevent inflammation from ever becoming a problem. So first of all, if you look at the societies with the most health, longest lifespans, and the lowest rates of prevalence of diseases, especially diseases of inflammation like cancer and heart disease, What we find is it's usually the societies who eat the most antioxidants in their diet and eat the least amount of damaging foods. Okay, so most of them actually do eat a large amount of animal products, despite all the lies that you might see. If you don't believe me, then that's fine, because there's still a lot of beneficial information in this video that you can agree with me upon, but you should really look deeper into things. So, you know, we know that the people who live in Crete or the Mediterranean in general, they actually eat a large amount of animal products. People in Japan eat a large amount of animal products, and even the people in Okinawa eat a large amount of animal products. So animal products are very high in cysteine, methionine, choline, vitamin B12, B6, and other nutrients that are required to create glutathione. And glutathione is your body's master antioxidant. And glutathione and other antioxidants such as superoxide dismutase, and of course vitamin C and carotenoids and other nutrients in plants, all of these have been shown to eliminate free radical damage, oxidative damage, metabolic damage, and clear up inflammation. And so we know that first of all, antioxidants are required for repairing this, and the majority of the societies that eat the most amount of antioxidants, including precursors of glutathione, which are primarily found in animal products, and then of course large amounts of plant foods, whole plant foods, high in antioxidants, green tea, red wine, grapes, etc., etc. The people that eat the most amounts of these actually have the lowest rates of disease. Even things like olive oil. There are actually very potent antioxidants, including vitamin E, and monounsaturated fats are actually anti-inflammatory because they counteract the negative effects of omega-6, essentially, or inflammatory omega-6, polyunsaturated omega-6. So polyunsaturated omega-6, when you have too much, this disturbs your ratio and increases inflammation. But if you can have more omega-3s and more monounsaturated fats compared to polyunsaturated omega-6, which is found in corn oil, vegetable oils, etc., soybean oil, then you lower your amounts of inflammation. This counteracts inflammation. So olive oil is very anti-inflammatory on 3 different factors. The polyphenols that are found in good quality olive oil, the vitamin E that is found in good quality olive oil, and the very fact that it's composed of 80% monounsaturated fats, which is anti-inflammatory. So it both heals oxidation and it also prevents oxidation from actually having a significant impact through balancing omega-6 and monounsaturated fats, or polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats. Anyway, green tea has just a multitude of antioxidant benefits, and we know that China, most of the Asian countries drink some sort of tea and in high amounts. We know in the Mediterranean they actually drink a lot of coffee. Even Crete, they love their antioxidant-rich olive oil, their fruits, their vegetables, their eggs, their animal products. They love their wine, their coffee. These are all very high in antioxidants, so it's no surprise to me that they live a long, healthy life, free of diseases. So then, obviously, in the Mediterranean, they eat lower amounts of processed food, especially Crete. But in China and Japan, the amounts of processed foods have been increasing drastically. And the diseases associated with inflammatory diseases or the effects of free radical damage are increasing as well in these societies, such as China especially. And one thing I want to say about China is they actually eat a shit ton of peanut oil and these inflammatory polyunsaturated omega-6 oils. Even though peanut oil is mostly monounsaturated, it's been shown in studies to increase your risk of heart disease drastically, especially stroke, which is directly linked to coronary arteries, or just heart disease in general, and arteriosclerosis. So obviously Western culture is full of inflammation. We have large amounts of fried foods. This is the biggest thing. So the studies done on meat eaters, the people who eat more meat have more heart disease. You have to really think about, what do people, like, when people eat red meat in Western culture, okay, what do they usually do? How many fucking people do you know have enough money to go out to a steak restaurant on a regular basis? How many people cook steaks like every single day that you know of? Like, if you look at the overall diet of the vast majority of Americans, you'll know that they don't eat much like red meat, or like high quality red meat, steak, fresh red meat, clean red meat, not processed, but fresh red meat. They don't really eat just red meat compared to all the junk, okay? The majority of them, like the majority of the red meat eaten in Western society is, at least the highest percentage, when they're talking red meat, they're talking about hamburgers, going to fast food restaurants, eating French fries, drinking sodas along with it, buns and cheese and special sauces, right? Is it more common for people to eat red meat in the form of hamburgers and French fries? Or is it more common for Western society to go out to fancy steak restaurants, or to even, buy steak from the grocery store and grill it? Like, usually it's only special occasions that people go and they go out to eat steak at steak restaurants, or they cook steak at their house. They grill it on the weekends or something. No one has time and no one has money to buy fresh meat on a regular basis, mainly because they spend all their money on bullshit and junk. Car bills and shit. So what I'm trying to say is, honestly, everyone that I hear, they say they don't have enough money to eat healthy, so to speak. They say, to eat healthy. Then they probably don't have enough money to go to the grocery store and spend $10 to $15 a pound on ribeye steaks, or enough money to go and spend $20 on a steak from like Roadhouse Steakhouse or whatever the fuck. People aren't eating as much red meat as you think. Most people, when they eat red meat, they're going to a fast food restaurant and getting a hamburger with French fries and a soda. They're getting a value menu or something. This is why studies show increased risk of heart disease in association with red meat. Anyway, I'm going way off subject here. What I'm trying to say is, if you understand inflammation, you understand glutathione, you'll know that, especially eggs, because they're very high in choline and other nutrients required to create glutathione. Animal protein is very anti-inflammatory. So anyway, there's herbs, spices, herbal teas of all kinds that have their own antioxidants and also boost your body's antioxidants. For example, superoxide dismutase. I believe it was Hoshu Wu that increases superoxide dismutase. Also, I believe reishi boosts superoxide dismutase. There are many medicinal herbs and tonic herbs that actually boost your body's levels of endogenous antioxidant production, and also contain antioxidant potential. Cat's claw is very anti-inflammatory. We all know about turmeric, right? Ginger, even cayenne pepper, unless you have an intolerance or an allergy to nightshade vegetables. Ashwagandha, unless you have an intolerance to nightshade vegetables, because ashwagandha is nightshade. Goji berry, very, very powerful healing plant, I guess you can call it, even though it's a nightshade. So if you're sensitive to nightshades, rule that all out of the table. These medicinal herbs, mainstream science, or not mainstream science, actually, mainstream science does a great job of backing up a lot of the health benefits of traditional medicine. But just ignorant people, okay? Lots of mainstream medicine pushers, okay? Not all of them, but a lot of them. A lot of them. They're like, oh, like there's no science to back up the effectiveness of these medicinal herbs. Full of crap. Full of crap. You never really looked, have you? There is an abundance of studies to back up, especially things like milk thistle, turmeric. What else? It's ginger. I mean, these are very powerful herbs, and there is an abundance of science showing evidence of their anti-inflammatory potential and their role in preventing and helping to treat many diseases. Yeah, we'll link your studies, blah, blah, blah. Look, like, honestly, I'm going to get some software here soon where I can browse and show people studies at the same time as I talk to the camera. But until then, I'm not going to link a tremendous amount of research and crap down in the description. Because if you're watching this video and you're like, oh, this guy's full of crap, most of y'all are just looking for confirmation bias, so you're not going to look up the studies I reference anyway. But the fact is, medicinal herbs are very, very powerful. So like these carnivore people who try to say like, oh, garlic's a poison and crap like that. I mean, look, I can see that the carnivore diet seems to be very anti-inflammatory for many people. And not just digestive diseases. There's people who have reversed gout using a carnivore diet. And it's commonly believed that animal protein is the cause of gout. Yet people cure it on a carnivore diet. So, or vitamin C deficiency causes scurvy, yet no one's developed scurvy, but they're eating only muscle meat. Or like, oh, fiber is necessary for bowel movements, but people can eat nothing but meat for years and have perfect bowel movements. There's a lot of like crazy misinformation. Anyway, so people who are on a carnivore diet can reduce their inflammation drastically because they're removing like any potential for inflammation to even exist in their bodies, and they're providing their bodies with choline, B6, B12, cysteine, and methionine, which are all the building blocks of glutathione, or glutathione, which is a body's master antioxidant. So it's really incredible when you actually like read all this stuff. And I'm not a carnivore, but I'm just fascinated by this. When you see such a large amount of people reversing all sorts of diseases and getting great results, looking like steroided superhumans, I mean, you know, ruling it out to placebo and this and that doesn't make any sense. Especially, like, there's got to be a reason behind this. And especially when you look at the people who like are eating vegan, the majority of them look very sick, especially the raw vegans. And you compare them, their complexion, their mentality, all these things. Compare them to the carnivore people. I mean, there's still some really like questionable carnivore people that seem to have like severe mental fog. But I don't think that they're eating enough. Something's wrong with them. But you can clearly see like the results of each diet. I met a lot of crazy vegans, and again, I eat basically a balanced diet, which lately has been including much more animal products. But my diet more resembles a traditional Japanese diet at the moment. Lots of jasmine rice, fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices, especially medicinal herbs, and then a large amount of fish, and then beef and eggs. Especially lately, I've been eating a lot of that. Omega-3 eggs. Anyway, this was supposed to be like bulletproof your body from inflammation, but whatever. So basically, I just splurred all the crap out from my brain and just went with it. So if you like this shit, just like it, comment down below, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to y'all next time.